we go. Tell me, friends, can you hear what I am saying? On this wonderful day, Thursday, the day in which ThursdAGEs are deployed into the world like, I don't know, something amazing. Now, if you can hear me, yay, there's Duke. Look at everybody hanging out early, like good friends of the program. We've got friends here. Duke, of course. Jay Gray hanging out. Do you hear that? I like it. I think I might have pulled this out when Ren was last on our program. But I do like it. We've got quite a show. Hey, look who's here. We've got Cooperative Waffles, which is always nice. We've got Alice, who says, oh my God, hi. Or oh my gooses, whatever. You know, your mileage may vary. Brian F. Irving says, good evening. I say good evening to you. Nice. I am glad everyone can hear. Cooperative Waffle says, sound is live. So today, we're doing a planning episode. It's an episode. That's not a... Oh boy. That's, you know, that's what you get. A little extra. Some extra letters to, you know, make things a little interesting. Grace says, I may or may not be here long. Daughter's preschool graduation is at 3. Congratulations. Oh, they grow up so fast. I can't believe I spelled that epispode. I mean, I didn't do it. Somebody did. My producer should be fired from a cannon. But yeah, no, it is our planning episode. And we got a lot to talk about. Before we get into the planning of it all, I really want to get into the, there's a lot of things going on in the world, in the world of the Adventure Game Engine, and I'm really excited about it. First of all, let me say that the Atomic Think Tank is going gangbusters. I mean, like, it's really good. It's some incredible engagement and interaction on the tank, and if you haven't been there yet, you are missing out. Ali asks a really good question. Ali asks, what are we planning? Well, we're going to plan what we're going to talk about here on ThursdAGE for the foreseeable future. What I'm looking for, ideas or thoughts, things that you've got on your mind that you, hey, Stormer, that you'd like to make sure we talk about. That will allow me to kind of wrangle up all of the appropriate developers and get those topics and questions and ideas sort of flowing. And when the producers fly, the swine will be jealous. Exactly. Truth. And, you know, in truth, I'm the producer. So, you know, it's me. I'm the problem. So, yeah, there is, that's the idea. And so do me a favor, percolate and give me, I'm glad that YouTube notified you, Cooperative Waffles. But hey, do me a favor, as I'm sharing some stuff and we're kind of looking at some of the updates, think about topics, ideas, subjects, and, you know, you can be as bold as our friend Ali and say, so me, coming on talking about mixing age, the Atomic Think Tank, let's see, oh, I missed that, me coming on talking about mixing age systems for a fun, customized gaming experience. That's a great topic. It's a fantastic topic. Grace says, well, sadly, most of what I want regarding the Atomic Think Tank has to deal with the Chronicle system. Yeah, I hear you. Grace says, Jay Grace says he's a little tepid on the age system. And I understand it if you're not super familiar. But you have come to the right place if you want to learn more, or you want to get some testimony from people in the chat, because they have definitely, there's some people in here who know their way around the adventure game engine. That is the truth. I know. Yeah, Nicole's my boss, says there are plenty of people logged in early to hang out and listen, and I think that's great as well. It is a testament, I think, to the entertaining nature, and just how great the adventure game engine is. It can withstand my planning. Epispode is what I wrote. But first, before we go on, I want to share some great stuff. I think you will agree. So, we have the Age Creators Alliance, and we're building it, we're growing it, we're getting people engaged and involved. And a person who has been very, very involved, you will have seen them appear on this very program several times because they're such a great guest. That's Ren LeBeau, who's hanging out in the audience. Now, we have, as you all know, the Atomic Think Tank. And it is the place where you can kind of, if you're a part of one of the micro communities that supports green running publishing, maybe you are a freebooter. Those are folks who go out into the world and they play and they GM games for people who may or may not be super familiar with, and that's all of our games. Maybe you are somebody who is part of the Age Creators Alliance. Perhaps you're somebody who is just a super fan of Mutants and Masterminds. Boy, the list goes on and on. Cthulhu Awakens, Fantasy Age, Modern Age, of course, all the Age games. We have a space for you. It's really a place to gather all of the disparate groups and bring them in and have them engage with each other, engage with us directly. And it all comes to you. It's a very affordable subscription of $0. It's free. And now we will be introducing some subscription stuff later in the future, but nothing will change based on the stuff that you would see now at atomicthinktank.com. And one of the things that I'm trying to do, we want to spend more time highlighting the folks who are working to develop their own pieces of certain titles and through the Age Creators Lines. It is a program we run through DriveThruRPG, and I'm sure everybody here is super familiar with that. But our very own Rain has done something amazing. So the very first publisher participant in our Age Creators Alliance program that we have fashioned a little space for within the think tank. And I'm going to pull that up here in just a moment. Where do we put you? And I'm really stoked about it. I think that, Rain, you've worked very, very hard on what you've created, the Vitath Adventures. You have done phenomenal work. I love it. I love to see it. You have a very special approach to the development of your game, and it is you've just done really well. I'm almost there. There we go. It's called Portfolio LeBeau. I'm going to share my screen right this moment so that you can see it. And it is, let's see. Da-da-da. I'm going to edit that for a real quick second. And what I love about this is that we get to hook There we go. Did you lose me for just a second? Can you hear me now? I'm not exactly sure what happened, but, we'll get through it together. I'm back. I did. It was so interesting. I just dove right in but I'm back now. Nice. It's all part of the suspense. But there we go. Let's see. Nice. Okay. Awesome. So, Vitath Adventures in Portfolio LeBeau. We have a space here. Look at all the folks who are hanging out. This space is devoted solely to Rain's work. It has links to all kinds of about this space. 736 members of your space. Congratulations and thank you. Oh, hey, disembodied voice. Hey, cuz, how you doing? This is great. And, congratulations to you, my friend. And what this means is that folks can engage with Rain and talk about what's going on with the page to connect. Maybe you have a question. Maybe you have some ideas. Maybe you have some thoughts. Maybe you want to share your latest experience with the adventure. And here's the other cool thing is that right now, where did I put that tab? Right now we have, I've just discovered that our friend Rain has put everything up, a bundle of the Vitath Adventures up on DriveThruRPG, and it's on sale. I'm going to share that in just one moment. It just completes me as a human being to be able to do this kind of stuff and to be able to support such great work. And I will be, let me get that link for you real quick. But as you remember, we had our friend on last week, and Rain talked about design and the development of this stuff. We talked about the new release. The bundle is such a good deal. Let me get there real fast. So much for pre-planning, right? There we go. You will see it momentarily. And I love the art. You've done a phenomenal job with that. And there we go. All right, here we go. The Vitath Adventures back issues bundle. And I'm going to drop the link. There you go. Hey, William, you're not late. You're right on time. I'm so glad that you did that. Rain just mentions that that they took the time to finally unify the covers so that they fit together, which I think is great. What comes with the bundle? You've got Adventures 1 through 4, right? And 1, 2, 3, and 4. All bundled together. Let's see. So it's normally $15.96. It's on sale for $11.97. So we're doing really well, William. Very well. Let's see. YouTube needs to set up the ability to click a username in the live chat and follow their channel. I agree, Cooperative Waffles. That's a really good idea. I wish they would do that. And yeah, so there you go. You got the link in chat. Be sure you go over and check that out. Pick up the bundle, support your pal, and then stop by the Atomic Think Tank and drop a little congratulations. Just say, hey, congratulations. Good job, friend. You've done it. You've done the thing. And more of that to come, I certainly hope. And oh, that's a good point. Duke mentions that the bundle adjusts if you already own parts of it. So that's why I had to kind of dig into this, in a incognito, because I was getting, I already have some of it. If you want to buy the rest, I think I think that I could buy the bundle based on what I'd already purchased for something like $2 or something. It's a deal. It's a bargain. You should pick it up. Support our friends in the Age Creators Alliance, and and not to mention, it's just going to be a great adventure. You're going to have fun with it. I guarantee. And okay, so with that being said, there's another thing I want to share with folks. I'm going to drop a link in chat to a new actual play. Now, this is especially for folks who speak German. I do not very well. And the German I do know something to do with like somebody named Rhubarba Barbara, who's a barber and is making rhubarb pie. Something along those lines. But that notwithstanding, check out our newest addition to the streaming community. It's streaming the Expanse. I believe it's Family Nerds. Family Nerds. Can someone help me with that? Duke, can you tell me? But I've listened to them. I've checked their stream is fantastic. They've really put a lot of work into their characters. They're really great. And so you do me a favor. I sent a message to them. Duke, would you look on their on that link and tell me if the message that I sent isn't offensive? It was basically like, I don't have very good German, but I think your stream is fantastic. I didn't check to see if they were English. To Family Nerds. Okay, that's what I thought. So yeah, Family Nerds, check it out. Follow them. Drop them a line and say, hey, Green Ronin Publishing sent you. So they know that we're giving them love. We gave them a follow and a like, and we are hoping that they continue on in their streaming adventures. It looks great. The stream is just top notch. They've really incorporated some of the art. You can see here, they've got some good stuff cooking, and they did it all on their own. And I didn't know about it until I got the notification like, hey, how the message is A-okay. All right, good. But I do like them quite a bit, so check them out. And and then just as a general rule, if you come across somebody who's doing a stream and you don't think we know about it, would you let me know? I'm Duke. I'm going to definitely. Duke says if you need help with translations, poke me. I'm glad to help. Yeah, Duke, we will enlist your expertise in sort of helping us crack the code, the German code, if you will. So a great group, super engaged, and we want more of them. If there are people out there that we're missing, and it happens sometimes, I don't know what the algorithm seems to keep a barrier between us and some streaming content, and we don't like it at all. But with your help, we can make sure that we're not missing everyone. Let's see, what else have I got cooking? Be on notice that how many of you are going to be at Gen Con this year? Let me know in chat and tell me if you're going to be there. I know at least one of you in chat is going to be there for sure. And I'm looking forward to that. That person and their whole crew. The reason I'm asking is that there's the word on the street, on these streets, is that there is going to be a gravy squatch running around Gen Con. It's incredibly hot there. No gravy-based being has any business mucking around, but muck around they shall. And I think, it's going to be fun. It must be. It should be. It has to be. Let's see. If you can't get volcano chicken, is it really Gen Con? Yeah, David, well, look, I don't know what volcano chicken is. Is that like a chicken that acts as like a volcano? Yes, yeah, Allie will be there and Nicole will be there. So that's two people, yeah, for sure. Break out the combat biscuits. Yeah, what? I don't know what that means, but I'm hungry for one. Do you eat a combat biscuit? Is volcano chicken the temperature of the chicken that they're serving you, or is it the chicken that kind of just explodes into a big flurry of feathers and such? Right. So Rain says they're going to be there as well for at least one day. Well, fantastic. I did not know that. I am glad I asked. We shall meet in person. We'll make that happen, my friend. But yeah, so Gravy Squatch will be running around. Look for Gravy Squatch. I have it on good authority that Gravy Squatch is going to be glittery as well. So, take that. Danger the Mighty says, when is the Solstice book coming out for the Expanse? They're working on it. I don't think we've shared a date yet. So, stay strong. It's coming. It's happening. So don't be alarmed. Has anyone made a Gravy Squatch stat block? No, many people have threatened to. They have indeed threatened to, but they have yet to do so. Maybe before we get to Gen Con, we should knuckle down and create a stat block for Gravy Squatch, who has a new logo, by the way. I don't know if you knew that, but I should show it. Probably. which I kind of like it. I think it's fun. I think it really expresses Gravy Squatch's true intent as a as just a being, as a general being. Let's see. Oh, we can start with the Yeti stats and the Fantasy Age Bestiary. Okay, sure. Why not? That's smart. That's super smart. Let's see. And to show, let's just do this. Is it up? There we go. Ah, look at that. I like it. That's fun. Of course, I think Gravy Squatch is one word, but I do appreciate the jovial, convivial nature of Gravy Squatch's face, who is, here to have some fun, to be savory and, fun and friendly. Am I able to convert my Chronicle system material over to Age? I figure that I can get Deltine over there and start releasing adventure module shorts in Age, though it's a low fantasy setting. I think that's a great question, and anything's possible, especially when you think about how easy it is to sort of, the Age system is sort of meant to support and be all kinds of things. It's a toolbox, really, plus a lot of other good stuff. So, but I'm going to have to defer to some of the folks in chat who can say, Stormer says Phage can do low fantasy pretty easily. I agree. Danger the Mighty says Gravy Squatch sounds like a really awesome beast to be added to the bestiary. Yeah, I'm not sure. Is Gravy Squatch a beast or some kind of a demi deity of some sort? I don't think a deity. That just doesn't work. I don't know. We'll see. One of those things. So there's that. And we talked about, Ryan, we talked about, am I missing any Age news, Age-related stuff? We talked about our new streaming friends. If there's more, we'll get to it. And if you've got a thing, 100% possible, Bad Devil says. That's true. Gravy Squatch could either be an enemy or an ally, depending on who you are. I think you are be the Squatch that you hope to see in the world, I guess is really what I'm saying. Yeah, Gravy Squatch is definitely a cryptid. I agree with you, Nicole. Absolutely. Obviously, Lost Isle, the Pirate Queen is coming out. Yeah, but I don't have details to share. I have, that I can share. But, yeah, absolutely. So let's get into the planning of all this. So here's the deal. This is what I'm looking for. Every Mutants and Masterminds Monday, as you well know, folks who are in chat, and if not, maybe you're hearing about Mutants Masterminds Monday for the first time, which would be surprising because it's so much fun and we've been doing it for years now. But we get together with Alex Thomas, who is the line developer for Mutants Masterminds, Steve Kenson, who is the Mutants and Master Daddy. He hates that name, that nickname, which, gives me all the more joy when I use it. And then, of course, Disembodied Me. And we do everything Mutants and Masterminds Monday-ish. It's so much fun. It is really a joy. It's a great, fun Monday. Same time, but on Mondays here in the same place, we just kind of swap out the bodies and skin suits and hose the place down and do Mutants Mastermind stuff. There was this moment where we're like, okay, we're thinking of things to do every single Monday. It's a tall order when there's, when you've talked about stuff for years. How can you possibly keep kind of pulling out new ideas? And it wasn't that it was getting thin. It was just like, we just weren't sure if the subject matter was going to resonate with everybody. And so I decided, I was just like, hey, listen, here's what we're going to do. We're going to let go and let the chat. We're going to sit down. We're going to ask some stuff about what do you want us to talk about? And we've been doing it now. I think we've done it for at least, so we plan about every quarter. And so however many quarters that has been, it's been at least maybe 3 or 4. But it is so much fun, and it really ends up giving us the cue as to what sort of the community wants to touch on and dive into. And it gives you the opportunity to weigh in And we're always looking for your feedback and your thoughts on that kind of stuff. And so when we think about the adventure game engine, when we think about ThursdAGE, what are some of the topics? And you can go so far as to say, hey, we'd love to have Malcolm on to talk about this or that. We'd love to have Chris Pramus on to talk about origin of the adventure game engine, or the, kind of nuts and bolts of it. We can have Ian come on and talk about Cthulhu Awakens, as well as The Expanse. Of course, Malcolm can talk about Modern Age and Fantasy Age. There's a lot to be discussed, but I really want to get into the weeds with you. And okay, I like this. So Ryan's starting us off with, I'd love to hear about the process of writing adventures. I think what I'm going to do, I'm rather than commit us to actual days, I'm going to write down some subjects that I can bring back to the team and say, here's what they would like. So let me do that. Okay, awesome. So the process of writing, what would you say that so with Mutants and Masterminds, you get a hero point if you do something amazing. Like you make the GM laugh, or you think of something really clever, which gives you some fun opportunities to kind of change things within the game. What would be the adventure game engine equivalent? The reason I ask is that people who give us a subject and we run with it, then, I want to give you something. But the great thing about a hero point is that it's very substantial, but I don't actually have to mail you anything or give you anything physical. So, it's kind of that kind of thing. So do me a favor and let's think about that as well as we're kind of moving through this. How do I recognize, outside of, saying, hey, thank you to this person for their great idea. I'd like to have a kind of a community fun thing that we can, sort of bandy about. So think about that. Maybe it's a hug from Gravy Squatch. Because as you know, Gravy Squatch visits your home at night and fills your shoes with gravy. Well, it depends on if you're good or bad. But the folks who provide a great idea for us to, plan a show around, clearly you are on Gravy Squatch's good list. So a full shoe of gravy you get. But to that end, Rain said, the process of writing adventures. So we'll call that adventure writing process. Nice. Okay. And what else have we got? We have, which step in the process is panic? Yeah, exactly. We need some help. That really comes more towards the end, near the end, rather. Advice on what goes into a good adventure supplement for the Age Creators Alliance. Absolutely. I like that. I like a focus on the Age Creators Alliance for sure. We could pull in Steve, Malcolm. Yeah, absolutely we could. Now, Stormer, just a real quick question. Would you like to see that as something, as a series that we do kind of regularly? Would you like to see that as a panel with everybody engaged? Or tell me what you'd like to see as far as that goes. And because I think I could see it as a panel. I could see it as a series of subjects. And if we want to look at a series, let's talk about very specifically, what are you hoping to get? If we bring Steve on, Steve is just a true luminary and is very, very much, okay, looks like I'm having a little bit of an internet issue. But regardless, what would you like to hear from Steve or Malcolm or Rain or whomever? Let me know very kind of granularly what you'd like to see. Let's see. I forget which step in the outcome. We talked about that already. Yeah, I'm very, we've talked with Ren about their process, and I would love to hear more of that, especially as it relates to kind of getting into the weeds. Let's see. What? I just found out that there's a Gravy Squatch denier, and now I have many questions. What? That's scandalous. I need to grab, William Lang says, I need to grab the Blue Rose Age version. I have the old True 20 stuff and loved it. Yeah, lots of folks with some love for the True 20 stuff. We hear that quite a bit. Stormer says, frankly, I'd love a series because I'm always trying to learn more. I've been GMing for years, but I'm struggling to convert into... You know what? That's a great idea, Ali. Stun points. What I didn't even think of that. That is perfect. You will hand out some stun points. Maybe we'll create a special ThursdAGE thing about that. Blue Rose is a gorgeous book. Oh yeah, Dangar the Mighty is talking about how gorgeous Blue Rose is, truly beautiful and a great world. The world of Aldous is just, the city of Aldous is just ripe with opportunities. Lots of different things can go on there, and it can get dark, can be, sort of fun. It can be all kinds of stuff. And I love that a great deal. Blue Rose in Modern Age use conviction. Could use that. Okay. I do like the sound of that. Let's see. I'm making more notes here. So I'm trying to convince our friend Malcolm I'd love for him to be able to kind of speak extemporaneously on particular issues. When you think about, let's see, Disembodied Voice says, is there a process for making new specializations and talents? What criteria did they use to figure out the different levels? That's a great question. Now, if I click on show, there we go. Yeah, that's a really good one. I appreciate that. I'm going to write that down, and I'm going to ask it of our developers to kind of see what we can build a whole show around that, I'm certain. And let's see here. I'm just going to pop this up, Stormer, just because I want people to see it. I'm always trying to learn more. I've been jamming for years, but I was struggling to convert into something that can be published properly. Okay. Interesting. Yeah. Let's see. There's some notes in Mage Companion for how they built the Grandmaster Apex talent. Could possibly extend that. Yeah. I dig that. Yeah, Nicole's mentioning that Malcolm will certainly have some specifics on that process. That is something we can bring him on and discuss. Honestly, the show's been running long enough. I might suggest looking at old episode topics that I've covered before. So originally this show began right as the pandemic struck, and we were like, we got to change some things up. And we weren't really sure what was going to happen with the world. We just knew that we wanted to connect with the community. And it was Owen Casey Stevens and myself. And we had a blast. I went back to look at a couple of those while the, quality varies as far as, the audio and video. Always entertaining. And, Owen is just a font of any information and just a great host, co-host. So I'm going to, we should go back and take a look at that. I will do so, and we'll see what we can, Owen's a special guy. And so, there's some things that are very Owen specific that, the days of the Owen and Troy show, says Stromer. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. One of my favorites is, hey, Owen, stat this, where I would just create the most ridiculous thing. And unflappable, the guy, unflappable, never shook once. And always ended up bringing some good stuff together. Yeah, Owen's a dear friend. Love him quite a great deal. Do miss hanging out with him on Thursdays, but we definitely keep up. Let's see. Adventure building is nice, but how about world building for Fantasy Age and Modern Age? Yeah, that's a really great question. And I'm wondering if world building for Fantasy Age and then world building for Modern Age are two different discussions, just to give each of those titles room to breathe. Really, all of them we could talk about world building. But there's also the notion that there are aspects or elements of, as Allie well knows and will share. Oh, that's the other thing I want to bring up here, or wanted to add to the schedule. I'm writing Allie to talk about mixing your ages. I will have a better title than that, but that's what we'll go with for now. I'm not sure if it should be one topic or two programs or one. What do you think? Right, Allie. Let's see. Yeah, the Stromer, a great idea, but unfortunately not one that we'll probably talk about on this program. I mean, it's just that time has passed, and we're into a whole new space. let's see. Bad Devil says there was an old set of articles on using age. Yeah, let's see. Would love to hear about using non-age game concepts in age. Okay, you're not the only one. And Sword Chronicle kind of falls into that sort of in between spot. We talk a lot about age. We talk a lot about uh, Mutants Masterminds. Sword Chronicle has its own sort of deal, but it is part of this. We have the Sword Chronicle Guild, and I know that there's we've got plans and discussions and things that probably need to be shared, but we can do that in the future. Yeah, exactly. Grace, like, yes, me too. Which makes perfect sense. Okay, William, that's great. I'm putting these down and making sure I capture them so we've got them as they were intended to be shared as topics. All right, so, and I've written down your question, Bad Devil, and I think it has something to do. I think it can be blended with what Jay Gray's talking about over the Gray Matters game mastering. If you are curious as to who Jay Gray is. And I like Tempo. You brought up Lazarus, and I've been talking about that quite a bit of late because it's just so awesome. Let's see. So Jay, you said I would love to get a workshop on layouting. And I'm sure you're talking about just sort of like the concepts and the approaches to laying out a good PDF or a good book. TTRPG style, and we've got just the guy for that. His name is Hal, and Hal, we're going to bring him back in. We want to work with Hal just once a month to have him come in and talk about art, and so that's a great subject, and he is really good at it, as you can see. I think there are a lot of great books out there, but ours just looks so great. Really, really well laid out. Art is always looking good, and it's just I think it's a skill that you build up over time and a talent that it's a unique one. So having Hal on to talk about layout or layouting, as you say, is just what the Jay Gray ordered. I'm imagining. If I'm off, let me know. Well, let's see. Anything else that I'm missing? World building we talked about. Nearing the 5th anniversary at light speed. 5th anniversary of. Make sure you tell me what you're talking about there, Cooperative Waffles. A lot of people come to age from other well-known TTRPGs, probably have a focus on combat. Might be a good discussion to talk about running social and exploration-focused play. Okay. I like that. Okay, so let me see if I got this right, friend. You're saying a lot of the TTRPGs where folks might be transitioning over to an age game focus more on combat, and you think a good onboarding would be to have a discussion around social and exploration-focused play. Does that sum up your thoughts? Make sure you let me know. And how would you adapt the Kurgulan and Camtain from the Chronicle system into the Age system? Okay, good question. I'm going to write that down. Well, in all honesty, I think the Chronicles should be redeveloped into more of an overlay for Age. Okay, all right. We've got, we're listening. So I do think that there are some plans in the working and the offing that we'll be able to share soon. But for now, I'm taking that note. Disembodied says, I'm actually starting my GM, a new Fantasy Age campaign. Okay, nice. With Titansgrave level technology, I'm trying to homebrew some talents and specializations. It will be helpful to hear from the designers. I'll look into that. Again, can't promise that we'll be cracking open too much of the just because of the nature of what went on with Titansgrave. Not really a great public discussion to be had there. All right, we got Lazarus is great. I would certainly like to see a take or two on organization management that took you. Okay, all right. Get Hal to tag team with Adam Jury. Okay. I'm making a note of that. And using Foundry VTT with the Age system for remote digital. Yeah, okay, I like that. I bet we can bring on a Jonesy, a GM Jonesy could pop on and talk about what we got happening in the world of Foundry for Age games. I think that would be a great subject. Good one. Hit me up in the ATT if you want to discuss more. Oh, yeah. Actually, you both should do that, Gray and Bad Devil. Be awesome. A good tutorial for ACA people, how to source art. Yes, absolutely. Especially in this era of AI. It is primarily because we've got our rules, and we're having actually a really interesting discussion right now about AI policy in the Atomic Think Tank. Our policy is don't do it, don't use it. We don't want it, and we want to make sure that we're working with human beings and not sort of machine learned theft of other people's stuff. That's always a bummer. But yeah, so I think sourcing art, real art, human art on a budget is a good one. I'd also like to hear from folks. I bet that there is something we could do, just given our expertise, and that we could maybe put together a package of art for folks that is safe and usable and fun and all kinds of good stuff. Yeah. And then Kurgulon and Camptain in the Age system, which tempo, I'm certain this means something to somebody, but Kurgulon and Camptain is not something I'm familiar with, but I will bring it back to the team and say, hey, about that Kurgulon and Camptain in the Age system. Got it. Noted. And sure. Let's see. Nice. Oh, Ali says it's a great topic as far as the, moving from a combat focus to or adding social exploration and that kind of stuff to, I like that, to the discussion. 5th anniversary live stream is COVID. Wow. Yeah. That's actually a really good point. We've been doing this for 5 years, and that includes Mutants and Masterminds as well. 5 years. Holy smokes. That's time flies when you're having fun, and we really do have fun. I really do. We really enjoy all of these live streams. It is best cheese for game night. I would consult one Nicole Lindrews for that. She'll never steer you wrong. Always provides the best of the cheeses. And I do like your grilled cheese sandwich profile picture. I think that is very good to look at, and I'm hungry. All right, so I think I think an episode on the difference between dice combat mechanics versus social and non-dice related mechanics. Okay, yeah, dice v non-dice mechanics. Just to make sure. Yeah, this is good. This is great. And let's see. Okay, yeah, me too. Actually, Danger says I did once run a modern fantasy game with blending Fantasy Age and Modern Age. Would definitely love to hear about other similar crossovers. And I know, Ali, you've got a little skin in that game, and I'm interested in hearing from anybody and I think that'd be a really fun community event to kind of talk and interview folks that have done that. And Danger, maybe you come on the show and you talk about what you've done. I'd be open to that. And if you would be too, send a note to let's play at greenronin.com. And that goes for anybody. If you've got an idea that, or even ping me on the Atomic Think Tank and say, hey, I've got an idea for a ThursdAGE episode. And it could be one that you're, intending to be on if you'd like. And we'll have some conversation and schedule it and stuff. Won't happen like immediately, but, with some planning and some discussion back and forth, we can figure that out. I think that would be great. And maybe you can be a part of that episode and we can bring other people on and just have a panel discussion about blending age games together and what's your favorite thing to borrow from this and to put into that. And, I think that'd be great. Let's see. Oh, interesting. Sure. Be nice to hear what other genres people would like to see in an age book. I would actually encourage folks to take a good look at the books because it covers a lot of space and a lot of ground, especially when you look at, fantasy age and then you add modern age to it. Nicole, what did we decide? I remember us talking about it, and I think I was a little too far back in time, but it starts from an era and goes until, near future time, fantasy age, modern age, rather. And so, I would actually like to hear from the community what genres you could possibly make, or would you like to work on related to modern age? There's a lot of stuff there. So let's see. Oh, that's great. Yeah. We're talking about being able to share names and links of the stock art that they've been using for their next setting book. I think that's great. And also, just between you and me, friend, a great subject to bring up in your new space on the Atomic Think Tank. I really like that. And I think that's a great resource for folks. And you can just create an article and publish it right to your space and drop a link and everyone can come and check it out. If they remember. Love that. It's better to have low art than underpay. I think I think it's better to work with artists to see what you can put together. There are lots of artists out there, people who are just starting. And I'm going to let you in on a little secret. This is what I'm working on in the background. We're going to be introducing an artist section of the Atomic Think Tank. And what I mean by that is people that can be collaborated with on a project who can do art for folks. And we expect that, there be discussion about, kind of paying them fairly and all that good stuff. We're not going to be facilitating payment or any of that, but having a library of people that are familiar with the community and can put together, some notions to spec or even share some existing art that they've got that might work for you. In any event, oftentimes when we talk about TTRPGs, we love the art and we talk about it, but we don't get really close to the artist. And so I thought that would be kind of a fun idea to bring artists of all, varying sort of people who've been around for a while, people who are just starting or who have some great sort of initial, maybe they're new to the world of TTRPGs, or they specialize in heroes, or they specialize in fantasy, or whatever it might be. Well, we want to collect them and put them in a kind of a reference library of folks that could be available for you. So that's something that I'm working on right now, and it's it's kind of, I'm working on it in the background because there's about 30 million things that take precedent. But I like the idea personally. Let me know what you think. Let's see. All right, Jay had to pop out for the graduation party. Nice. Glad that you get to listen to us over Bluetooth while attending preschool graduation. I'm wondering, at preschool graduation, what do they do? Do they, what kind of things are thrown, or, do they throw their hat? Do they have hats? Kind of a big deal for parents, for sure. I wonder if the kids even know what the heck's going on. And Nicole says David is cheating. He knows my thing for cheese. Yeah, absolutely. Ways to ease transitioning from the table's current system to the equivalent age system. Okay, that is brilliant, and I appreciate the specificity, and we will add that to the list. I love that. Let's see. Danger the Mighty says, I was working on this whole history of the world that incorporated all the fantasy races since the dawn of time. That's quite an endeavor, friend. Especially if you're trying to kind of make room for all of them in the in a kind of mythos or a mythology. That's a lot, quite a lot. Let's see. I know more than one. That makes me nervous just a little, David. Gotta be real. Panel discussion on the various Green Ronin personal appendix. A panel discussion of various Green Ronin's personal appendix ends. The Machine Age, thank you. Yeah, so we talked about, so modern age beginning at the Machine Age and moving into the near future. That's quite a span of time. So we could really spend some time talking about what kind of genre details can be expressed in such a wide swath of our, known history. Let's see. I'm big on a space age game that covers a lot of different science fiction genres. Interesting. Yeah. Very interesting. Stromer says, I've also heard a lot of people mention a desire for a generic space age. Yeah, we've heard that before. And we've heard a lot about Western, what kind of a Western type setting. Outside of it just being sort of maybe not the most proud moment of, of our history as a nation, certainly evocative and that kind of country Western vibe. And there's a lot of fun that can be had there. Yeah, don't be a Whitman. Using fantasy age in the world of Harn setting. Sounds to me like we can kind of fold that into the idea that Cooperative Waffles talked about as far as like transitioning from, other titles into the age system and how might one do that? Danger says, my daughter had a whole cap and gown for her. Oh, good. That's great. Yeah, it just strikes me too as another opportunity to have a little money to have to spend on another graduation, but I'm imagining the preschool graduation is a little more relaxed, perhaps. Super's age. All right. Yeah, let's just mix it all up. Let's just cause all kinds of confusion. That is, hey, when you care enough about the topic and the subject, and the ideal and the drive to be more inclusive with the stuff that we're making, then yeah, it's definitely, especially with stuff like Lovecraft, it's work, but it was definitely done. And I'm pretty proud and stand by that. Let's see, take the Western genre more as a fantasy setting. Yeah, exactly. Duke's talking about sort of how to thread that needle, take the Western genre more as a fantasy setting, as the modern movie view on it was never really accurate anyway. It really wasn't. I mean, yeah, they didn't, it was basically just a bunch of very, very unhealthy, kind of cranky, awful people stealing land and, and whatever. But, that presentation doesn't strike me as the most enjoyable TTRPG in the world. Coyote and Crow is fantastic. Yeah. I mean, absolutely. Coyote and Crow. They are fantastic and friends of ours. Let's see. Oh yeah. Our, Hippo HQ says, ironically, the map making software I use just released a Western setting pack. Very interesting. Observation, no question. Death in Freeport is available for both Pathfinder and Fantasy Age. It made it easy for me to transition to other, stuff to Fantasy Age. All right. A very good point, and thank you for that. Let's see. Yeah, I think that it would be an interesting discussion. David Bullock brings up the, a sidebar into the Motherlands. Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think that we could do that as a stream and, bring on the creators and have a conversation about it. Absolutely. We must. We simply must. Oh my gosh, we've got like a couple of minutes left of the show. I'm shocked because this hour has flown by, as it always does, because we have such great conversation and so much fun that I lose track of time, and I want to do that. I'm like, hey, let's do this for, 4 or 5 hours. Why not? But not today. Not today, my friends. I like Jay Gray says for Westerns, take the tropes and leave the bad, and really, do that on purpose and talk about it. Yeah, absolutely. Bad Devil says alienation, but instead of it estranging you from society because of your esoteric knowledge, you become more of a terrible person in cowboy specific ways. I don't know how much fun that would be, but I like the thought. Let's see. Hey, Stromer, thank you. And I really do appreciate you hanging out and give us the ideas. I really enjoy that. And, feedback is the name of the game. And we really do love connecting with the community and just talking in general about, all things age related. But it's just that much better when you are a contributing member of the dialogue and help us kind of guide us in the right direction for the kind of things you want to hear. I've got really great subjects here. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to write them up. I'm going to put them on the Atomic Think Tank, and then you can tell me how close I or if I missed the boat, or if there's additional thoughts or ideas spawned by this, and then we can also loop in some of the folks who missed the conversation in general. And so if you're already a part of the think tank, look for that. I'm going to try to get it done either tonight or tomorrow, which means maybe Monday. But I will get that together as soon as possible. If you're not a part of the think tank, do me a favor. Either ask someone that you know that is, and have them send you a link, because they can invite you to be a part of it. You got a friend, you're in, or sign up at atomicthinktank.com, and I will. It's 3 questions. It's pretty easy. It's nothing too arduous, and then depending on your answers, I'll let you know whether or not you pass the test. But frankly, here's the reality. It's not difficult to get in there, and and if you're not there, don't wait. Dive in and get involved, and we can get you signed up. So then you can jump in and kind of be a part of the conversation and share your additional thoughts if you're watching this on demand. Hey, friends, do me a favor. If you have other thoughts or ideas, notions on things that you'd like to see, whether it's in the think tank, whether it's part of ThursdAGE, whatever it might be, send a note to letsplay@greenronin.com. We endeavor to answer or ignore your questions, either way. And we do appreciate the feedback and the thoughts and ideas, especially as it relates to maybe you're somebody who comes to the table with some skills, some abilities, some talents that I'm not aware of. So share that with me. We're always open to the discussion. Thank you for coming to the Planning Episode, which is French, of course, for episode. And do me a favor, have a great rest of your week and a wonderful weekend. And then we will endeavor to get into this conversation even more in the think tank. But for now, we're done. Thanks, everyone. Bye.